It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies. In our current climate, we are focusing on streaming and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hello, Jim.
Hey, hey.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Let's rage on. Well, today we have a somewhat special event because all the cinemas are closed. And COVID-19 has forced us to accept dares from clearly demented and disturbed people to watch some desperately awful, sadistic, rage-filled dares. Plus, we watch some new streaming, then some other stuff happens, and then we go into Christmas season alone, by ourselves, forced to be with the only people our government is allowing us to be with, whom aren't necessarily the people we want. You hear what I'm saying?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, let's Christmas dance.
All right.
Streaming. Motherfucking streaming. We've been just streaming. Apparently we're going to be streaming for the rest of our lives. And Bryce, what are we doing?
Yeah, we're streaming.
And Murray's watching football nonstop this way.
Yes. All right. So we are going to start with Porno.
Who doesn't love porno? We've been talking about doing it on the show for years. Why haven't we talked about porno?
Because there hasn't been a movie called Porno before. So Porno is from 2019. I think it got released late last year, but it's kind of making the rounds on the streaming as we speak. It is an exclusive to Shudder right now. So another reason to get Shudder. It's got some, fairly original content, and there's lots of good stuff on Shudder. Fun for hours. So, Porno. Movie theater employees discover a film that unleashes an alluring succubus who wreaks havoc on their teenage minds and bodies. The film takes place in the early 90s as the movie theater is playing Encino Man and A League of Their Own. The teens involved here are all fairly steeped in religion, which the film does play for some laughs without being insulting. Their religious tendencies are necessary to push the story forward by explaining many of the motivations of each character. Eventually, they find a movie in a hidden part of the movie theater through a series of events. They watch said film, and a demon from hell is unleashed. From there we get a penis ripped off and someone's testicles explode. Pretty standard fare. Overall, the film was fun. It was okay. It was meh.
Well. Encino Man or A League of Your Own. Both not great choices.
Which would you choose?
Porno.
You choose
porno.
Fair enough.
I mean, if I have to choose between those two, I would do what they did and choose porno.
There you go.
I know this is a period piece, but never have I seen so many teens that are clueless to sex, the world, reality, and life. Now I get it. They seem to be shrouded in right-wing Christian veils of ignorance. And initially, I was kind of bothered by this. But then I really started to enjoy their innocence and the film's geekiness. Great creep factor, great suspense, weird and wonderful 80s porn freakiness. I loved creeping along with the whole cast of misfits, naivete that was these high school dorks. FYI, Todd, the most adorable little ginger ever. Heavy Metal Jeff is the best name for anyone ever in any movie.
Heavy Metal Jeff.
I think I might even steal this going forward. I think I'm going to start to call you Heavy Metal Bryce, because it kind of fits your personality.
Does it?
I mean, it totally fits, right? You are Heavy Metal Bryce.
Am I?
Yeah, it's kind of your thing.
All right.
You're even wearing your heavy metal headband today.
There you go.
It's perfect. The only issue is that Heavy Metal Jeff's testicles. Well, no, let me back up. The only problem with Jeff is that he was clearly the weakest link in the group. Is that the Satan sign you're giving me?
Maybe.
Hail Satan. Wow. Jeff's testicles were pretty disgustingly interesting, to say the least. It's a nice bow that Ricky ties, though. Who knew you could tie a bow out of mutilated testicles to be a nice, clean package to open later? Merry Christmas, Heavy Metal Jeff and his girlfriend. Loved the poster of Chessie Morgan. That was a huge surprise for anybody that's over the age of 40. I'm going to imagine that they know who Chessie Morgan is. It was a huge surprise, and it was like, what? How did that just show up in the movie? Interesting how they all end up being by themselves to allow the sex demon to attack them, though. Not that I minded at all. This, it just kind of added to the whole hot sex demon who happens to be super hot. And if I had to answer which is my favorite kind of demon, I would say sex demon. Hands down. Right? If you're going to be possessed by demon, killed by demon, whatever, by demon, please at least have sex with me first. Sure. Oh my God, the full frontal nudity shot of the devil's wiener causing Heavy Metal Jeff to run from the theater saying, "I'm out," was priceless. Favorite line, all these porn chemicals running around in your brain, giving you hallucinations and whatnot, is totally typical of satanic takeover of the mind. I like this film a lot. Had great nudity for all the nude lovers out there. Very LGBTQ friendly-ish, as it has representation. But because it's early 90s period piece, it still has some 90s mentality about treating people who are LGBTQ. So
couldn't be avoided.
Got the representation. Yep, could have been avoided. Got enough gore, wiener mutilation, demon fucking demon, getting fucked by a demon, and finally fucking up the demon. So, to summarize, lots of fucking, lots of demons, lots of movie geekdom and dorks all trying to be cool. All in all, it was a fun little horror romp. Gets a fuck you, hot demon man.
Okay, that was a lot of F-bombs there. You're making me uncomfortable.
Well, I can't help it. There was a lot of fucking that was going on in this movie. Like, you can't ignore the fact that there was a lot of demon and there was a lot of fucking. It's just, you can't avoid it.
All
it's
right.
there.
Fair enough.
What else did we see? We
saw Zombie Child.
Zombie.
Yeah, also came out late 2019. And this one actually, I think, ended up at a bunch of festivals too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, no, it did, and it had some pretty good reviews, if memory serves me correct, when it was making the rounds.
Well, you know what we say about reviews.
Yeah, well. So Zombie Child, 2019. It is also playing on Shudder. Dong.
Shudder. I love when you do the dumb.
All right, so I feel as though I should have liked this more than I did. It causes a great many questions to come up in your mind as you watch it, and pretty much resolves none of them. It does not presume to lead you in any direction, but rather lets you come to your own conclusions. At no point does it tell you how to think about anything you're watching. Perhaps one of the more objective films that I've actually ever watched. The filmmakers showed an ability to weave a story of a Haitian man in the 1960s who was buried and comes back to life to work in the sugarcane fields a few days later. They combine that with a story of a spoiled teenager 55 years later who befriends a Haitian immigrant because of her connection to voodoo, so she can resolve her romantic woes over a recent breakup. It's kind of impressive that they were able to put these two stories together, and gotta say it's original.
Yeah.
The movie bounces back and forth between the stories, and eventually the stories come together in a fairly effective climax. Ultimately, I wanted more. To be honest, I cannot even tell you what I mean by that. I was left a little bewildered by the end. There was nothing wrong with this, but as an overall experience for me, it was meh.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, I want to start with saying yuck to a blowfish murder. It was an interesting start to a movie. I mean, you don't get blowfish murders very often. Interesting start, and a little true to the craft, which makes the start to me just that much more super cool.
Absolutely.
The double layered plot lines crossing somewhat as we end the film makes it an interesting suspense. The film is a biopic, but you'd never know as the film unravels. To say this is a traditional horror film is to say that Santa comes twice a year. Except he doesn't. Except maybe with Mrs. Claus. And it's not, by the way. Nor do I think that it's even a horror film at all. As any listeners who have listened to our podcast for a long time, my favorite genre of horror film is zombies. Now, this covers all types of zombies. Fast zombies, slow zombies, zombie-adjacent films like 28 Days Later. But my absolute favorite of sub-genre horror zombie is real-life voodoo zombie.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like zombies that, work in the sugarcane fields.
Yeah, well, that's part
the same thing, yeah.
It's all part of the same genre. It's because, guess what? The actual true zombie films, it's fucking weird shit. Like, there's a lot of history and follow-up been done on zombieism from Haiti. So it's an interesting concept. And don't even get me started about zombie documentaries. It's even more mind-blowing for me. Voodoo zombies. In this film, though, it is a bit convoluted through most of the film, allowing forward and backward in time, and not really suspenseful until we get to the very end. This kind of makes you think the film will go in a certain direction. But in fact, the whole movie, you think that it is going to become some kind of teenage angst horror film, or perhaps it becomes a zombie outbreak. Like, you're waiting for something like that, thinking that if you didn't actually read, the synopsis of this before seeing it. But none of that happens. It takes you on a slow, almost stopping at times burn, and slowly brings up the suspense. As Fanny, yes, that's her name in the movie, Fanny, which always makes me laugh. Who would name their kid Fanny is beyond me.
It's a good name.
I think it's probably the best name that's ever been created.
It's a good name. I like it. Fanny.
If I wasn't calling you Heavy Metal Bryce from now on, it might be Fanny.
I wouldn't mind that. I like it.
So yeah, she goes to visit Melissa's aunt, the Mambo. Shit gets real, and then gets fucked up, and then gets more real, then more fucked up again, and then real again, as we find out at the end, real life biopic of Clairvius Narcy gets a Haitian zombie fucked up Mondo.
Fair enough.
I love this. The parts you were saying that, it's like you can't have a reason. I kind of went through that whole journey myself. And then I was kind of like, well, it kind of delivered everything I wanted. I couldn't find any faults with it other than it was a little bit convoluted, but I kind of liked the convoluted.
And I had, as I say, I had no problem with the convoluted. There was so much that I should have liked in this, but at the end of the day, I just had an overall impression. And when I was done the movie, I was like, If someone would have described this movie to me, I would have said, oh, that's right up my alley. I am going to absolutely love this movie. But when I experienced it, it was okay.
Yeah, it kind of ticked a bunch of boxes, right? And then it was kind of like, okay, the boxes were ticked, but they maybe didn't tape it properly.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't think we're too far apart on it. It's just for some reason, it didn't quite connect with me.
Yeah, I did love the end, though. The very end, which won't necessarily give it away. But I love the fact they gave actual footage. I love that from a biopic, especially if through the whole movie you're not thinking, oh, this is a biopic. Because, I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. I didn't do the research to find out if she really was his granddaughter or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But it kind of makes it think that she is his granddaughter. Yeah. So I'm assuming I mean, her story that gets woven in there is actually part of the biopic.
Yeah,
right?
I have a hard time believing that that's true, but maybe it could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably true that his daughter was a mambo, though, right? So
I would imagine, yeah.
Right, so I mean, the end part kind of leaves it up to your own interpretation.
Yeah. Well,
did she get possessed by her boyfriend? Blah blah blah. All those things. Don't want to spoil stuff, but I think it's definitely worth a look, and it's very unique and has original.
Yeah, no, there's no question of that. All right, sir. From there, what else did we watch?
We saw Rose Island on the Netflix, and
Netflix.
it was, Italian.
It was very Italian. There were Italians in it. They spoke Italian.
Yep.
So
it's Italian-y.
Tell me about it.
Go?
No, it's you.
Okay.
You're taking the lead on this one. No, maybe I'm taking the lead on this one. Sorry.
You can do whatever you want.
I should look at what's going on.
This is our podcast. We can do whatever the hell we want.
All right, I'm going to take the lead. So an Italian engineer builds an island off the coast of Italy in international waters and declares it a sovereign nation.
I love it. I want to be there.
I know. Sign me up. How do I become a citizen? This is a film that is very watchable. It is funny in parts. It is an interesting tale based on actual events. The lead actor, Elio Germano, has a charm about him. There's no question. In watching the movie, I mean, it's amazing that the UN was actually considering recognizing Rose Island as a nation.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think that ever would have happened, but the fact that they were even talking about it is kind of amazing. This endeavor by an Italian engineer actually changed the world as they doubled the distance off coasts of countries in international waters to prevent this from ever happening again. It was very interesting bit of entertainment. I don't know what else to say. It was a very watchable meh.
You know what? Sometimes we just stream the same thing, right? Like, I mean, we're obviously watching the same movie.
Yes.
But I think we kind of have a similar feel for this one. I love that even in the most serious of movies, that the Italians can find campy, silly fun. Like, it's like, I'm not saying that this movie is a super serious movie.
Nope.
But certainly the plot of this story is a super serious idea. And yet give it to the Italians and they're kind of like, let's make this silly. It's super silly. We'll make some fun. It's fun. It's silly.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
absolutely.
You can't love but some of the parts.
Yeah.
I love the concept of this film. I think most people wish they could fight the power and fuck the man Italian style. I really enjoyed the story as it was unfolding. I feel that it did not have enough historical information, and they tried to cram in a lot in a short amount of time, which leaves you with the feeling of really knowing any of the peripheral characters. Like, I think it was so focused on him that the peripheral characters weren't really developed the way they should have been. You kind of got a little snippet of them, and because they tried to cram so much into it, that the character development kind of fell apart a little bit. For me, I need a character development, and biopics are already coming from a place of disappointment to begin with. I would much rather have seen a documentary about this personally.
Yep.
Not sure how much actual footage exists.
Well, they had some at the end of the movie in the closing credits, though. Yeah. I mean, there's got to be some.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's got to be enough people to interview about it. It wasn't that long ago, was it?
Yeah, well, up to 50. So, I mean,
I guess. Most of them are probably dead.
But, biopics are basically medium shitty, just like people. This was a fun idea, and as with most Italian films, had some great quirky humor, but suffered the biopic trauma of being a biopic. And Italy is a great country, but Rose Island is only a man. Suffered with too many money shots, too many staged money shots near the end. It stopped feeling natural as it got to the end, and in my opinion, took away from the film a bit. So, I don't know. If you kind of felt that too, there was a couple of shots that just kind of like, okay, this is just too staged. It doesn't feel real.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like the whole scene when they're...
There's no question.
It was, and that's the things that with biopics, right? It's kind of like
it's also the thing with Italian movies. They'll take a simple concept and they'll spice it up. That's a spicy meatball.
Yeah, spicy and meatball. It's delicious.
Yes.
Delicious the meatball.
All right.
Yeah, that's enough of streaming.
All right.
Let's talk about other stupid things.
Whatever. We're going to talk about, I guess we got kind of a special holiday double dare.
Yeah, is that what we're calling it?
I think that's what we're calling it. It's our special holiday double dare. So
okay.
I tell you, so we're going to be talking about 2 films that we got dared to see, and I don't know about you. It was an experience.
Yeah, it was an experience.
Yes.
Please tell me about Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny, please.
All right, I will. So,
I'm on it.
I'm all over this. Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny from 1972, which by the way, you can stream on Tubi. Okay, so
for all your crap needs. That should be the subtext of their advertising for Tubi. For all your crap needs.
By the way, this got a 1.3 rating on IMDb. That is out of 10.
It's probably 3 points higher than I think it deserves, but keep going.
Okay, so here we go. Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny is the story of Santa's sleigh with him in it getting stranded in Florida. And then in the middle of the movie, for some reason, Santa tells a group of kids the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Apparently, there's another version of this where he actually tells the story of Thumbelina instead of Jack and the Beanstalk, but I digress.
Well, on Tubi, there was like 4 different versions.
Yeah, but
Santa Claus and
I didn't watch the Riff Tracks version. I watched the original version. I don't want people talking over it. I'll talk over it myself.
I kind of wish I was watching this.
So, this film is one of the most frustrating things that I have ever watched in my whole freaking life. It makes no sense. It doesn't follow any rules. Santa is stranded, and it seems to establish early on that he can't leave his sleigh. Otherwise, why would he just be sitting there sweating his balls off in the hot Florida sun? So Santa just sits there, roasting in the sun, I guess waiting for someone to help him? Then we get a bunch of kids seemingly magically summoned to come and find Santa. They all show up and decide that they will try to bring various animals to pull Santa's sleigh instead of reindeer. We got a goat, and a pig, and a dog, and a horse. Now, none of these animals were actually hooked up to the sleigh. They just sort of backed them up, where they should have been harnessed, and then they shrugged their shoulders, and as the animals could not pull the sleigh. Of course they couldn't pull the sleigh. They weren't hooked up to the sleigh. At some point, we also got Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn showing up. And at this point, I find myself saying, okay, why not?
I'm on board now. Let's just take this train to where it goes.
So then Santa tells the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. For what reason, I have no idea. Then we get the climax of the movie. Here comes the Ice Cream Bunny driving a vintage car full of children. Where did he come from? Why is he the one to save Santa? Really, what the hell is an Ice Cream Bunny? Can you please just give me some sort of explanation why the Ice Cream Bunny is here? With no explanation given, we see the Ice Cream Bunny driving to Santa's location to save the day. Now, the fact that Santa refused to leave his sleigh led me to believe that under no circumstance would he leave his said sleigh. Otherwise, why would he not just get off the sleigh and get help himself at the beginning of the movie? But Santa now gladly leaves his sleigh to go with the Ice Cream Bunny. So now Santa's in the car with the Ice Cream Bunny and they're driving away, abandoning all the children on the beach, probably miles and miles away from their homes. And where the hell are they going? Is the Ice Cream Bunny going to drive Santa all the way to the North Pole? And by the way, while all this foolishness is going on, Santa's sleigh magically disappears from the beach. Where did it go? Has it been transported to the North Pole? What is going on? Now am I to assume that the Ice Cream Bunny is going to drive Santa to Florida, to the North Pole, in that vintage car that is in obvious need of repair? There is no way that car is making it to the North Pole. This was one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen. I was so frustrated watching it. This was the ultimate in Christmas rages.
Yeah, I wish we would have had it on our Krampus special.
This was ridiculous.
Hey, here's my theory. Are you
Yes.
following me before I go into my rage about it?
Yes.
My theory is that the Ice Cream Bunny is a pedophile, and so is Santa. And the Ice Cream Bunny collects all the little children, and then he thought, why don't I pick up my accomplice, Santa, and take him with me? Because everything you say is 100% true. None of it, this whole movie doesn't make sense.
Nothing makes sense.
The only thing that would make sense is that the bunny, or the person dressed up as a bunny in a suit, and Santa, who couldn't seem to even go in the nice, cool, breezy water to cool off instead of, like, as you say, sweat his balls off on the sleigh, is like the only thing that would make sense is that this was made by pedophiles for pedophiles. Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny, first off, what the fuck was this? And why would anybody make this awful mind rape film? Yes, this was a mind rape. My brain was violated in a way that it will never recover. The sound mix is basically unlistenable. I quote my dear wife as we were watching this when she said, "This is a home movie." And then she said, "What the fuck is this?" And then she stopped watching it. She left the room and said, "Goodbye." This film is unwatchable, and to dare someone to see this is to say, I hate you more than Hitler. So I dare you to see this movie. I can't, or maybe don't, want to talk any more about this. But please know, this torture watching this movie is not the same as watching, say, a terrible movie like 9 Lives or The Cutting Edge. Why, you ask? 9 Lives is a big budget movie with big stars, and they were thinking, we're making a hit movie here. We've got all these stars. Where this, on the other hand, was made by mentally ill idiots who knew full well this movie was shit and had no hope of more than 100 people in the world ever seeing it.
Oh, but many people have.
Yeah, I know, because it got 1.3 rating, and I hasten to even ask how many reviews got it to 1.3. But what I do know is donkeys, pigs, sheep, cows, horses. I guess the local farm ran out of animals? Maybe? Was the parade of animals that lasted 15 minutes, was it really truly necessary? An awful musical rendition of Hack and the Beanstalk? Like, just fuck me. A happy ending worth waiting for? This is not, there is not enough drugs on the planet that could make anything about this film good. This was a sadistic, torturous rage of a movie. I would not wish this on my worst enemy.
That was bad.
So, you know what? Kudos to who dared us, because this was really, truly an awful, awful, awful movie.
Thanks, Kim.
Yeah. Let's not put Kim in charge of the dares again.
No.
We need a week to recover.
At least.
Although, I think next week, when it's our Christmas special, we'll be talking about a movie that's almost as bad. And it was another big budget movie-ish. Jingle All the Way 2. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, that was god-awful.
Yeah,
stay tuned next week.
Because if we think the Ice Cream Bunny is bad.
Yes. So from that little holiday treasure, we move on to another one. Santa Claus conquers the Martians from 1964. Jim, what did you think of it?
What did I think of it? Well, at least this shitball fest, the sound mix was professional, and the budget was well over the price of a Santa and a bunny suit rental for a day. I can say that much. Not sure who this was originally for, though. There was way too much adult dialogue for it to be a kid movie. It's way too stupid to be for adults, I'm guessing. It's clearly made for stoners who wish someone would create a show about trekking around the stars to boldly go where Santa has never gone before. This film, unlike the stupid fucking bunny film we saw, is at least watchable with a story and plot, albeit an awful story, and everything except the sound mix being completely terrible and annoying. I love the polar bear. I love the robots. I love the elves that hammer what appear to be nothing with a plastic hammer. I'm like, okay, what are they building with a plastic hammer?
I don't know, but it was awesome.
It was pretty awful. Mrs. Claus?
It wasn't awful. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was truly awful. The sweet, super tight hot pants of the Martians. So tight, you can see what Martian religion they are. Santa and the little children's laughter. Ha, 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 ha. Super hot Martian lady. Apparently, though, there was only one Martian lady on the entire planet. We only got to see one Martian lady, but we saw a whole bunch of Martian dudes. The Martian toy shop. The great makeup job of all the Martians. But otherwise, it was truly an awful movie. Did I mention there was a bubble orgy near the end of the movie? Well, I mean, it was kind of a bubble orgy. I interpreted it as it was a bubble orgy. And he doesn't actually conquer the Martians. He has a bubble orgy and giggles. Then he goes home. Best line, are you a television set?
It's lots of good lines.
It was an awful, terrible rage, but I did laugh a few times at it. Can't see why it's considered a classic, bad, good film. But as I watched this sober and not on drugs like I assume most people watch this, it was still a rage for me. I didn't laugh enough that it made it. It was just too much boredom to enjoy fully. Yeah, no, there was times where it wasn't awful funny enough. They just had too much dialogue. There was just way too much dialogue.
Huh.
Yeah. Ha.
Well, you asked the question, who was this movie made for? I'm about to tell you.
You're not going to say me.
It was made for this guy.
Oh my God.
I loved this movie. It had action, adventure, laughs, drama, and a killer soundtrack. The Martians decide to kidnap Santa, and in doing so, they also kidnap a couple of kids. I'm just so excited talking about this. Although at one point the kids get away, but then the Martians unleash an impressive-looking robot named Torg. We also get some high tension as the kids avoid a polar bear, played brilliantly by some dude in a very convincing polar bear costume. Torg also eventually leads the Martians to Santa. On their way to Mars, the evil Voldar tries to kill Santa and the kids. It was all so good. We get an epic fight between Voldar and Kimar, who seems to be one of the leaders of the Martians. Kimar prevails and he places Voldar under arrest. But when they get to Mars, Voldar escapes. Bad news for Santa and the kids, as he is hell-bent on revenge. Once on Mars, Santa brings joy to all the children. Well, not all the children, but 2 children on Mars. Apparently there's only 2 children on Mars.
And one woman.
And one woman. There is a scene where Santa starts laughing when meeting the Martian children, and it is truly infectious, as everyone in the scene starts laughing as well. And then, inexplicably, I started laughing. It was so good. Truly infectious stuff. From here, we learn that the Martians want to keep Santa for themselves forever, and why wouldn't they? Meanwhile, Voldar is hatching a plan to take down Santa. Through all of this, Santa forms a friendship with a Martian named Droppo. Santa eventually thwarts the efforts of Voldar and convinces the Martians to let him and the children go, as Droppo is more than capable of fulfilling the duties of Santa. This was a feel-good movie if ever there was one. The movie starts and finishes with the song Hooray for Santa Claus, which is now my favorite Christmas song. This movie was Mondo, and so was the song Hooray for Santa Claus. And as a very special Christmas gift to everyone listening, here it is. Ha! How good was that?
That was literally the worst thing I've ever heard. I cannot believe you like that song.
That is my favorite Christmas song of all time. I am so glad that I got to share that with all of our listeners. Merry Christmas to all.
And to all, a shitball sandwich. That was awful.
That is going to spread like wildfire. People are going to say, you know what? You got to listen to this week's podcast so you can hear Hooray for Santa Claus. They actually play the whole song. I think we may get like 500,000 listens this week.
Yeah, we may take over Joe Rogan's spot because, yeah, I'm sure he's pretty jealous that we played Hooray for Santa Claus, sung by some stupid little brats, which is annoying and hurting my ears. And he didn't. So yeah, I could see that. Sure.
It's so good. I legit loved this movie. It was so much fun. I was giddy through the whole thing. Every line of dialogue made me happy. There wasn't one thing. The guy that they chose to cast as Santa Claus was so unbelievably fantastic in the role. The Martians were my mind is blown. This was the greatest Christmas movie ever made. I love this movie. Move over the ref. That was my favorite Christmas movie before. No longer. It is now Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Well, I hope you put this on rotation for every Christmas.
I am going to... There is no question that this movie gets watched every single Christmas from now until the day I die.
Yeah, I'll stick to Krampus movies on Christmas. They're my favorite.
I didn't think...
Christmas
you know
movies.
what? I'm not a big Christmas movie guy, but this one, it had everything. I don't know that... I was so happy at the end of watching this movie. As I say, I was downright giddy. I felt like a kid. This movie brought me back to my childhood because I felt like a kid. I don't know that I've had this much enjoyment in the Christmas season since maybe I was like 9 years old.
Wow. And that, you know what? Just like normal, we're back to our regular routine. At least we've got a rage from me going into our open rage.
All right. On that note...
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
My rage this week, other than crappy Christmas movies, obviously, is our cinemas are now closed. And I'm sure they're closed in most places in the world. So this will be, I can maybe not see my kids over the Christmas holidays. I can maybe even, not get to go to my favorite restaurant on Christmas. But this would be the first Christmas that I've never been able to go to the cinemas. And it's stressing me out. On top of the fact that Warner Brothers just made an announcement that needs to be brought up, that they're going to take all their content and push it onto HBO in the States and only available in the States. So as a movie-watching Canadian citizen, first off, America, I'm jealous. But second off, I'm like, the CRTC in Canada is a bunch of dicks. Unless we can find a way for us to be able to watch some of these great movies that are going to be coming out, it's going to be just like our film Shirley, which I've been trying to watch for God knows how long, and they've had in the States for who knows how long. So my rage this week is kind of simple, but I'm sure a lot of people are also in the same boat, which is we want this fucking COVID to go away so that we can have our lives back. We want cinemas back, and we want movies. We want them to still keep putting money into movies. And, okay, I don't get this at all. So they allow liquor stores and cannabis stores to stay open. And these are things that are supposed to be helpful for our mental health. How are they not letting cinemas stay open with proper distancing? They've already proven that there wasn't one case where they came from a cinema, because guess what? They were getting maybe 20 people to each movie. They can fit them all in there, no problem. That's all I got. It's more of a sad rage than a anger rage. I got all the rage sucked out of me with those two terrible Christmas movies.
Wow, one
I'll
terrible
pass the
Christmas
baton.
movie and one classic. A
No, they
holiday
were both
classic.
Really, really, really terrible. Terrible.
Figure, eh?
Awful. Yeah, it's terrible.
All right, sir. Oh, it's time for my rage. Music's making me rage. Are you ready?
I was born ready to rage.
All right, my rage this week is the fact that if you watch Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny, there is a scene where all the boys and girls are summoned to save Santa Claus. In this scene, boys and girls are shown playing baseball, playing with a dog, skipping rope, wrestling, throwing a frisbee, and skateboarding, amongst some other stuff too. The screen then freezes mid-action, which was no big deal, but the part with the little girl skateboarding froze just as the girl was about to take a fall off the skateboard and do a face plant onto the concrete. A few minutes later, these scenes are revisited and they unfreeze, and we see the next moments of action. My anticipation was at an all-time high as they rolled through every action, as the kid hits the baseball and the dog jumps through the girl's arms, etc., etc. Now my anticipation was building because I could not wait to see the little girl do a face plant onto the concrete. But when we go back to that scene, it did not unfreeze at the point it was frozen. Instead, the girl was not even on the skateboard, but the little boy was. She was...
Okay, sir, let me get this straight.
What is
the
going?
movie that you just said was a Mondo.
No, that's Santa Claus and the Ice Cream Bunny there, Dip.
Oh, you were talking about the other terrible movie?
Yes, I'm not talking about Santa Claus Conquers. Are you even listening to me? Anyways,
Apparently not.
What is going on? Why does every scene continue from the moment they have been frozen except for this one? Every other scene was a direct sequence from where the screen was frozen, except for the skateboarding scene. This movie could have given me one little bit of pleasure, but they could not even give me that. If I could have seen that little girl fall on her face, I may have even made this movie a meh. But instead, it was another frustrating sequence among the sea of turds that made up this movie. I truly hate Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny.
So... you just wanted a double rage?
It made me angry. I swear, they froze all those scenes, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And then when they revisited it a couple minutes later, and they started showing all the, because as soon as that happened, I was like, "Why didn't they show the girl fall on her face?" She literally is on the skateboard. She goes and puts her foot down, and she slips, and she starts to fall forward, and they freeze it. And literally, she is about to do a face plant onto the concrete. And I was like, why are they freezing it? And then they go back. And all of a sudden, they're showing where they froze. And they literally, where they stopped it, they rolled the film forward after that. I was like, this is fantastic. The little girl's coming up. The little girl's coming up. I'm going to see her do the face. And then they go to that scene. And it's not where they froze it. She's not even on the skateboard.
Wow,
I don't know that I've ever been so upset about anything in like the last 3 years.
Yeah, the rest of the movie was, I mean, that faceplant wouldn't have saved this to a man. I can't believe it would have.
You know what? I think it might have, because
no way.
The sheer anticipation that it caused me. I was like, wow, at least there's something here. There's something. They couldn't even give me that. Those dirty, rotten bastards. Those bastards. Why would they dangled that little carrot in front of me, and that frickin' Ice Cream Bunny grabbed it and ate it instead of showing it to me. So I am not.
That's true.
I am so not cool with those bastard sons of.
That's too bad. See, whereas me, I was just raging because the whole movie was terrible.
Yeah, the whole movie was terrible, but it had this potential to make me smile once, and it couldn't even do that. Just give me one smile. Just one. You can't even give me that. God, I hated that movie.
Well, maybe you'll see your faceplant in your dreams.
Yeah, we can only hope. All right.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Okay. Well, these are a couple reminders more than anything else. But I do have to ask, did you get a chance to rewatch Wonder Woman?
I did.
Didn't you? Did?
I did.
Oh, I'm so happy
I wanted to get Robin Wright on the list. I wanted her to be Undoubted.
I do too.
But it's impossible because Wonder Woman was not a good movie. It was meh at best.
Oh.
And it wasn't even a high meh where I could maybe fudge it a little. Let's give it a little nudge into Mondo so I can get Robin Wright. No, can't do it. Wonder Woman was the definition of meh. In fact, as I say, it was a low meh. It did not connect at all with me. It is not a good movie. And I wish that it was, because nothing would make me happier than putting Robin Wright on the list, but I can't. Sorry.
Well, I can't argue with the fact. I mean, I'm in love with Wonder Woman, so I have rose-colored glasses on.
Yes, they must be really rosy, because if they made that movie into a Mondo for you,
okay, you just literally gave one of the worst Christmas movies a Mondo, so you cannot be the
No, I gave the best Christmas movie ever made a Mondo.
Yes, no. So, anyway, Wonder Woman, interestingly enough, the first time I saw it, I started to not be too happy with it. But after the fourth time I saw it in the theater...
Well, I've seen it twice now, so you're saying I got to watch it like 2 more times and maybe it'll creep back up? It can't get to a Mondo, man.
I don't think it will for you. But it's funny, because the first time I was watching it, I was going like, okay, some of this is just dumb. But then I allowed comic book reality to be my own reality, and then I was okay with it.
All right.
The things that bothered me about it just got absorbed into the fact that, well, this is a comic book universe. Who am I to think of logic in this movie? And then it was okay.
All right.
So that's one down. Did you
Yes.
happen to see anything?
No,
Kelsey
nothing
Grammer
else.
or Denise Richards?
I was too busy watching awesome Christmas movies.
Yeah. Well, that means you're going to have just that much more watching of terrible movies from Kelsey Grammer and Denise Richards.
I'm going to have some time. I got a bunch of days off in a row during the holidays here, so by the end of the year, I'll at least have watched, Money Plane, and there's some Denise Richards Christmas movie. Hey, it's the holidays. I might as well watch that too.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's called My Adventures with Santa.
My Adventures with Santa. It sounds kind of sexual.
Yeah, I'm hoping it is. And then you have to see Baby, Baby, Baby.
I have to see Baby,
Kelsey
Baby,
Grammer.
Baby?
Yeah, it's a double whammy. So you'll watch Money Plane.
Money Plane.
And you'll rage over that because it's truly, truly one of the worst movies that Denise Richards has been in.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelsey Grammer is also in it.
All right.
And then that's they killed 2 birds with 1 stone. And then you just got 2 movies to watch, and we could have 2 new Doubted on our list.
Maybe.
Well, unless Baby, Baby, Baby can pull it out, I can't imagine My Adventures with Santa will.
I can't imagine that either.
But the sad thing is, if Baby, 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 I just like saying that title.
Baby, baby, baby.
Baby, Baby,
Yes.
or My Adventures with Santa are either one or meh, we have to take this to another level. We've got to watch another movie.
Oh, joy.
Oh, joy. Oh, joy. Oh, I'm so excited that this Christmas is going to be the best present ever. Okay, well, we're going to go. I'm going to put forward somebody I've been waiting to put forward almost for like a whole year now, but I've been saving it. And we kind of talked a little bit about him maybe a couple episodes ago, but I'm putting Kang-Ho's song, The Father from Parasite, on for the Undoubted. And if he doesn't make the Undoubted, I am throwing him forward for the Mesmerized. So
I have a feeling, because I think I've actually looked at him before, that this might just make it. But let's, what do you got?
So there's 2 movies on it I haven't seen.
Let's see.
And if you've seen them, I'll probably just have to see one because I can't imagine either one of them will be they have to be a meh or mondo. So I think there's a pretty good chance of that. So 2013, he was in a movie called The Face Reader, which I have not seen.
I haven't seen it.
Then he was in 2013, he was in The Attorney, which to me was a mondo.
Yep, mondo.
And then 2015, he was in The Throne, which I also have not seen.
The Throne. No, I don't think I've seen it either. You're shocking me.
Okay, well,
I guess
I'm
we got
pretty sure
some
you've
watching
seen
to
these
do.
other ones.
Okay, go ahead.
2016 is The Age of Shadows, which for me was a mondo.
Mondo.
A Taxi Driver, which was also a mondo.
Mondo.
Parasite, which was a mondo.
Mondo.
We already know that. And then The King's Letter, which I did not love. I gave it a meh.
King's Letter. What was it about?
Let me read the synopsis.
Did I see this? Not sure.
I don't know. That is a good question.
How long? When was it out? Like a year ago?
It was out in 2019.
Okay.
It's a historical film about King Sejong, who risked everything of his to invent the Hanminjeongeum Korean script for his people and the people who weren't recorded in history.
All right, I got some watching to do. I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, so you got to see 3 of them. It was a meh for me. I didn't hate it, but I would watch that one first because the chances of you raging off something would be that one first. So I would watch The King's Letter for you first.
Okay.
If I would say. All right, and I have a Mesmerized to put forward based on last week, which is Marianne Jean-Baptiste.
Oh, yeah, of course. She is. She's totally mesmerizing. Everything that she's in she's fantastic. She just shines. Absolutely shines. And you're right. When she's on the screen, I can't look away. She's fantastic. Yeah,
she kicked Mel Gibson's ass in The Fat Man. Like when she was on screen, he's like, "What? Mel Gibson? Did you hate her? Whatever."
You gotta stop
okay, and I'm putting
that.
one more. No way, man. Not ever saying it until he apologized to all my Jewish friends personally. Okay, so I'm putting one more forward.
Yep.
Just because I know we've talked about her. I think we tried to get her on Undoubted, but there's a couple movies in there we didn't love, and that's Lupita Nyong'o, who to me is mesmerizing.
Yeah, no, I got no problem with that. She absolutely is. And she is a very beautiful woman.
She is stunningly beautiful, and I just want her to be in everything. Everywhere, all time. We know she can do comedy.
Yep.
We know she can do action.
Yep.
We know she can do dramas. We know she can do horrors.
Yep.
What can't she do? Was there a genre that she hasn't been in that we maybe haven't seen?
I think she can do it all. And if there is a genre that we haven't seen...
Has she done a rom-com? Has she done a rom-com?
I'm not sure.
I might even watch it if she was in a rom-com.
There you go. Well, that right there, that shows you how much you love this lady.
Yes, true. All right, well, that's it for the list this week.
Cool.
Let's go to our favorite segments of all time. This week on Rage or Dare, we had to watch The Jew Hater yet again when Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, and a couple of old movie TV hacks threw together this action-adventure comedy love story from 1994 called Maverick. This week, Bryce will have to choose to go back to his early Christmas present and the dare bag, or will he stick with the great and powerful Rage? Let's start with Bryce and see if Jodie Foster, the Mesmerized, meets the racist Mel Gibson to make a classic 90s throwback, or will it make him and I rage because that's the best that racists deserve? Bryce, over to you.
Maverick. I saw this in the theater. I saw this in the theater back when it came out in 1994. I remember being better than it actually is. Based on the 1950s TV series starring James Garner in the title role, this version, having Maverick played by Mel Gibson, must have seemed a little dated in even 1994, and now in 2020, it's even more dated. The attempts at humor misfire every time. Like, I did not laugh once, and I know they were trying hard, but I didn't laugh once. The situations are silly, and the twist ending can be spotted from a mile away. You can see them trying so very hard to be funny, but at no point do they succeed. Apparently, I must have been more easily entertained when I was 20 years old, because I had fond memories of this wretched waste of time. This was a rage. I was sure it was not going to be, but it is. And that's all I really want to say about it, because it's just not a good movie. Richard Donner made a couple good movies. This was not one of them.
Oh my God, I can't believe everything you just said. Ditto?
Yeah, it's like, what do you say? It's just so much pablum, and it's just, I don't know what, like, I guess it was definitely made for the masses, and I don't want to insult the masses, but it's like, I don't know, it's just like the Graham Greene stuff. Really? It was like everything was just bad.
Yep. Okay, well, let me give you my full take on this.
Yes, go for it.
I used to love the Jew-hating Mel Gibson back in the day. And man, this had so many great actors from the past. This is one of those movies that is super dated, just like you said. And that is part of the crux of this film. I also had a real problem seeing Jodie Foster as a sex symbol. I don't know why. She plays such powerful women, and then she's playing a sex symbol in this. It was kind of like, doesn't fit her persona of a strong, powerful woman. I don't know. It was kind of bothersome.
It was weird.
I remember thinking when I first saw this in the theaters that it was okay. So isn't that funny that we both thought that, okay, maybe this
I remember it being not bad.
Yeah. But God almighty, this was painful to watch. It was way too long, way too uninteresting, way too much card playing at the end with who the fuck cares who wins mentality at the end. I kind of stopped caring about anyone or anything about this about 5 minutes into the movie. And then it never got more interesting. Problems? Why was Mel Gibson narrating for some parts of the movie and then it kind of just stops for no apparent reason?
Yeah,
it's like,
sloppy.
What happened to the narration? It was like, what? Not even sure there was any historical accuracy about this film at all. Chemistry of Gibson and Foster were sisterly brotherly at best. The characters are all one-dimensional and idiotic. Again, I'm not sure who this movie was for. The only thing I liked in this movie was the fact that Graham Greene was in it, and he was taking advantage of the white man. But the dialogue and discussion was terrible. Moral of this story, do not go back to the 80s. They suck. Get to, oh my fucking God, this movie never ended 80s rage.
But it was from 1994.
Yeah, but it sure felt like it was the 80s.
It actually did have that vibe. It's the kind of crap that would have come out in the 80s. There's no question.
It was. It was like a whole time I was watching, I'm like, this was made in the 90s? It sure feels 80s to me.
It was not good. Not
So, you've got to pull some juice.
Yes.
Where are you going? You going dare? Or you going rage?
Going dare bag.
Going dare.
We're gonna leave it to our loving audience. Let's see what happens when I reach my hand into this bag of goodies. I always like to
I hope it's delicious.
You know what? I always love reaching into this bag because it's given me such pleasure. I don't understand why they've what did I get to watch? I got to watch Phone Booth, which was excellent. I got to watch I don't even remember. I've gotten some gems in here.
Turkish Star Wars. You got to watch Turkish Star Wars.
Turkish Star Wars was not great, but
it was a mess.
And now I get it. One of my favorite movies. I can't wait to. Well, it's not one of my. It's one of my favorite horror series, and a lot of people are going to go, whatever. That can't be. I enjoy all of them. It's Final Destination. It's part 4. Now I don't remember part 4. Don't remember it all, but I'm sure it will be quite pleasurable.
So far,
I know.
It's interesting they picked 4.
Yeah.
So if they picked 1, I would agree. It's a pretty good movie.
Yep.
If they picked 2, I might be, that's okay.
It gets a little repetitious after a while.
So, are you going to watch all 5 of them? Or is there 5?
I will watch. I actually just watched the first one recently. Like, I don't know. I think when we were doing our like favorite horror movies, because I thought it might make my list, and then I watched it. It's like, nah, I can't quite make my list. But I really liked Final Destination. I thought it was kind of an original idea at the time. And, you know, when you take that original idea and you make 6 more movies, well, it becomes less original, obviously. But I still, you know, I always thought they were a lot of fun. So, hey, once again, I remember going to Final Destination 4 and going, yeah, this ain't bad. I'm kind of enjoying this. Good. It's exactly what I expect it to be. Let's have a good time with this. So I am looking forward to this.
I don't know where, like I'm looking on IMDb and I'm not seeing it.
Final Destination 4?
Yeah, so this is what it lists. Final Destination, Final Destination 2, Final Destination 5, Final Destination 3, and then one that's called Final Destination, which may be 4.
Yeah, the 4, I think 4 is the Final Destination. And there's Final Destination, and then when they made 4, it was the Final Destination, and then because I think they thought that was going to end the whole thing, which apparently it didn't, because 5 came out.
And then there's.
By the way, there was a time I got to go look in my there was a time when I actually owned all these movies. I think I may have given them away over the years, because that's kind of what I did. You know, I had this pile of Blu-rays, and every time someone would come over, I'm like, go ahead and take what you want, because I'm never going to watch them.
You're the movie Santa? Is that what you're saying?
I was the movie Santa for a lot of years there, but now the piles and piles of Blu-rays is down to almost nothing. So, but I'm going to take a look. I might actually own this, but if I don't,
Can you watch 5 too? Because I kind of want to know if they should have given you 5 instead of 4.
Just for you, Jim, I will watch 4 and 5, and I will review them both in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best. Oh, what a great episode this was.
All right, I'm adding as we speak 4 and 5 to this little piece of paper.
Well, that's baby, baby, baby.
Yes. I wrote that down as well. Baby, 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 and
you sure you know how to
and
spell
money
that
plane and something about Santa. Yeah.
Yeah, so next week, everybody, get ready for our super Christmas special that will be launching on the 23rd, right? Next Wednesday is the 23rd.
Yeah, we'll try to get it up on the 23rd for your Christmas listening. And then mark your calendars, because on the 30th, I'm going to be talking about Final Destination 4 and 5.
That's right. And maybe, just maybe, we might have some answers on Kelsey Grammer and Denise Richards.
I'll do my very best.
I'm
gonna have some time off during the holidays, so I will make sure that I've got some answers for you. You can count on it, mister.
Well, I guess that's it. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage crew of Leonard Collins, Artistic Vision Photography via Leonard Collins Photography. Listen to us on all podcast streaming sites. Find us on all social media at Film Rage YYC, and check out our website at filmrageyYC.com. We're always wanting your feedback to make this a raging blast for all listeners. So please comment often, and please make us rage. Please. That's it for this week. Rage on!
Rage on!